I know, I know. Do not adjust your sets. It's not a lie. It's really happening. It's really happening. Episode 4 of the podcast. It's gonna sound a lot different because I'm using different equipment, because I'm in a new country, new hemisphere. A lot has changed in, God, when did I last do this? Something like 15 months ago. I think my last one was like the end of December, January 2015 or so. Jesus, it's been a long time. But yeah, yeah, it's back. I finally decided, fuck it. I got a mic. I got everything I need to, just start it all again. But you know what? When I actually started doing this, first of all, hi. Thank you for listening. If you are listening, I hope you're not expecting some great forms of comedy or, intellectual architecture or anything like that. This is literally just me rambling, although I will have like three basic like things I'm going to talk about. But yeah, when I started doing this, I was going through a breakup and I needed an outlet, and it's something I always wanted to do. So I decided to do this, and it helped me get over it. So when I finished my studies and I finished everything I needed to do in South Africa, I stopped doing this. But now that I'm sitting here, I'm in Ireland. I moved. Country, continent, hemisphere. I moved. I have a long-standing job now. I'm really, really good at it. I'm not going to say exactly what I do, but it deals with the public, which I'm great at. Telephonically deals with the public. So it's great. They're really nice. It's basically this. I get to do this all the time. So I get to talk to people all the time. And I love the sound of my own voice. I really, really, really do. Like, I am, like, it's fun being me. It's fun listening to me. I like listening back to myself. Once I actually get a lot of podcasts and episodes up, I may just sit down and have a marathon of myself. Like, it's not arrogance. It's just, I'm at this point now where I am so happy with how life is, from like what it used to be to what it is now. I cannot imagine my life being like, it's so good. And I don't even have a woman. I am creating the happiness myself through my work, my hobbies, and my friends. It is the most fun. It is the most awesome it's ever been. And if you're a friend of mine and you are listening, thank you very much, because you are involved in this. You are a part of my happiness. But yeah, I moved to Ireland. Beautiful, sunny, some of the time raining, most of the other times. Ireland, it's absolutely fabulous. I love it to bits. Got my job, very good at it, and started a couple of new hobbies. One of them, which I'll get to later. But first, as always, first things first in these podcasts, I like to open up these episodes like I do when I'm with a woman. It's got to be that slow roll open. You open the knees like you open a gentle audio breeze right there in your eardrum. I'm going to open up with a sex story, ladies and gentlemen, just like I always do. Now, if this is the first time you've ever heard these podcasts, hold on to your britches. I know you may be sitting down on a seat, but trust me, you're only going to need the edge of it. That's such an old line. Oh my God, I want to cut that out. I won't. These are completely raw. But yeah, let's see, which sex story should I go to? I'm going to tell this one. I'm going to tell this one on the grounds that the problem that arose from this sex story is going to lead to so many more sex stories based on this one problem that happened at the end. Okay? So this is why I'm going to open it up now, because it's going to open up a whole lot of stuff later. And if I don't explain this now, I can't tell the other ones. So, I was with this girl. No shit. We weren't like going at it. We were just like kind of like, in the throes, the beginning stuff, the part, the cut to the end of the montage, the part where the guy's talking to the girl, and she winks and it's like, well, what do you want to do next? And then, it immediately fast cuts to her in her room stripping and stuff. We were at that point, so we were doing that. And we got down to our, our undergarments, our lederhosen, all that nice little stuff. She's wearing frills, I'm wearing frills. There's a lot of frills everywhere. And we start, the whole bump and grind, all those R. Kelly stuff, all that nice, good stuff. And so I have Mjolnir out. My Mjolnir's kind of out. Her brazen passage is not quite, available yet. It's still got its frilled cover-ons on. So you're just doing the bump and grind. You're doing that remix to Ignition right there. And so the rhythm starts, and the rhythm's good, but the rhythm got me a bit too hard there, no pun intended. And as I pulled back a little too far. And whereas everything was kind of going all right, it was just a nice little sturdy handshake, this was pretty much the way it lined up when I pulled back far enough was pretty much like, Chewie, jump to hyperspace, we're about to go. So it's going forward. But, the frills are still on. There's a passage there. And yeah, we hit that force field going at 12 parsecs, and there was a bend, and there was an almost break, and yeah, let's just say there was some damage. Damage so much that did not continue, so we had to dock back on planet Tatooine right there. And also, yeah, there was a little bit of there was everlasting effects. Also, I'm gonna put it that way. So that's that story. I know some of the gentlemen listening now have their legs crossed. Some of the ladies might even have their uteruses just kind of just saying, "You poor man." Don't worry, I've done a lot of good in the world, and I've nailed a lot of good women. And that's just the karma, baby. That's just one of those things that has to happen. Has to happen. But I'm glad it did, because it gives me a bunch of stories. I can talk about this stuff with you guys now, so that's fine. So that's that. That's the sex story to get you nice and loose for the next little festivities that are coming up here. And when I say festivities, I actually just mean things that I like to talk about, and I hope you guys like to listen to. So what have I been doing with my life? Well, one of the things that's made me so happy, God, besides the great amount of movies that are coming out now, they've just the immaculate amount of movies that are coming out now. One of the things I'm truly, truly happy about, I started playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yes, you heard it right. If you're my friends and you already, you know me, this is definitely going to just become a topic on maybe every podcast, maybe about 5 to 10 to 20 minutes, But oh my God, the creativity, the story structure, the nail bitingness, the overall nerdism, but the awesomeism as well thrown in. It's absolutely fucking amazing. I love Dungeons and Dragons. I even got myself a tattoo of all the dice on my right forearm. It's beautiful. It's lovely. This game, if you're listening now and you have never played Dungeons and Dragons, I swear to Jesus, listen to the you can't see it, but I've got a massive smile on my face. Listen to the enthusiasm in my voice. I ain't lying. Please play this game at least once. You will be so surprised how much you love it. Even if you're thinking now and you're like, I don't think I'll love, you will. You will. I promise to God. The things that you can do are only stopped by your imagination. And even then, the people around you will have such a bigger imagination than yours. If you're reserved and you're like, I don't know if I can do this, and I don't know if I can, be comfortable and outgoing around other people. Like, slowly that will come out. There's people around the table who don't know they will as well. I have a friend that plays, she's totally into it. She gets into her character. She swears at me when I'm other characters. She gets totally into herself. Her boyfriend plays with. Her boyfriend's not that open or reserved, he's still getting used to it. He says a couple of things when he wants to say a couple of things, but he's still getting it. But as the time goes on, he's getting better. He's getting more open. He's speaking as his character. He's had 2 sessions, went and bought himself his own dwarven dice. The man just got addicted, and I have introduced 3 housemates, 3 workmates, and 2 boyfriends and husbands to this game. And it's just caught on. It's just caught on so fast. I'm not a player currently. I am a dungeon master. I'm not using any pre-packaged stuff. So what this means for those of you who don't know what Dungeons and Dragons is, you can either create your own world, create all the history in it, the the history, the magic, the races, the politics, the monsters, the mazes, and all that stuff. You can create that yourself, or you can actually buy books and you can like plot it out. You can read the book, do it for that. I decided to create my own world. Just because it allows me to control the pace a lot better. But I have ideas, and it's, for creative, art and writing and things like that, I really like to do it. So I made my own world. My players are living in it. It's fantastic. They love it. A couple of them are currently hating me for it because my power levels, they're getting strong. So I'm upping I'm creating real world. This is a world where dragons exist. If dragons exist, you gotta realize, with a food chain, if there's something of that big that's eating things, everything else has to be on a power scale that goes up. I mean, the strongest, we're at the top of the food chain, but underneath us is like great white sharks and lions and things like that. So these are all powerful creatures as well, like lions and tigers and bears. Oh my! And when you get in a thing where it's like humans are there, but there's also humans with magic, there's got to be a power creep difference there. There's got to be something that's equally powerful that is somewhere on the food chain too. So then you get dragons, and you get drakes, and you get snake gods, and you get fucking shades and shadows and skeletons and zombies and beholders and all of these wonderful things. Hellhounds, demons, devils, which are not the same thing, those last two. You get all of these things that link together. And I create the world for this. I create the angels, I create the devils, I create the portals, everything, and my players live in it. And it's amazing. It's so much fun. You can be whatever you want to be. If you've always fantasized about being an elf, throwing magic to the wind, being, from the Council of Elrond, and all that beautiful stuff from Tolkien, you can be that. If you want to be a drunken dwarfish barbarian who only wants to puke, piss, and swing an axe around, you can do that too, because one of my housemates does that as well. And it's fantastic. It's fucking irritating because they're very, very strong, but it's fantastic because the man pretty much upended a dragon by hitting it in the balls and cleaving it straight through to its nostrils. I was both impressed and incredibly irritated, but you know what? The man rolled well, and he deserves that kill. Guys, I'm just play the game. Just play the game. It's so good. It's so good. Okay, so that's Dungeons and Dragons. I'm loving it. My other job is I'm talking to the public a lot. That's basically what I get paid to do. Some of them are good public members. Some of them are bad public members. I love it. It's given me such confidence. It's given me such practice. Because if you know me, you know I'm not a confrontational person. I'm not like the type of person who's gonna, if I'm leaning towards the last box of chocolate milk on the shelf and you just quickly run in and grab it from the shelf, I'm not going to be the type of guy to be like, hey man, I saw that first. I'll never be that guy. I'll just be like, well, fuck it, and I'll walk away. But dealing with the public as I do now in my current job has made me so much more confident, both on the phones and in real life. So, now it's a case of I stand up for myself a lot more. When I speak to good members of the public, I love it. I get compliments all the time. It's great. Not my ego, my confidence, not my ego. Don't have an ego, but but my confidence has risen. And not just that, but it's nice when you have the confidence when somebody is being an asshole to you, that I can now go without any adrenaline rush or shaky knees or anything, just go, yeah, well, sorry, I'm not dealing with this anymore, and then just walk away. It's great. I haven't had that haven't had that, ability in a long time. I don't think I've ever had it ever. But it's great to have. I really do like talking to the public, and Irish people generally are just a lot more jovial. They're a lot more happy than the rest of the world. I mean, from the places I've been, the only other place I've been is South Africa, where it's the exact opposite. I mean, South Africa has a general sense of there are large parts that are happy, but it's very seesawy. It's very extreme. You got to be 20% happy or 20% unhappy, and the rest is all the other one. So, You can either be having a good day, but you're never just okay because of how politics and life is over there. You're either, 20% unhappy and 80% happy, and that's what you are. You're walking around like that all the time. You're just very, very happy. But when people start irritating you, it doesn't go, 30% unhappy and 40% unhappy and rises. It just flips, and you become 80% unhappy and 20% happy, because things just flip for you, because it's exactly how the whole South African culture is. You're either happy or you're unhappy. People are just very quick and emotional, whereas Irish people tend to have this kind of, there's a general happiness, a general, just carefree attitude, with an underlying sense of depression and dread, and that's the Catholicism pretty much leaking into everything. So we want to be content but not happy, because being happy would be considered a sin. So there's a general just contentness. You walk around, and nobody really judges by skin color or anything like that. So you walk around, you're just somebody's walking by, but they're actually trying to physically make eye contact with you, not avoiding eye contact for that awkward hello. They're looking for you so that they can say, "Hey, top of the morning to you. How are you? How's it going? How's it going? It's yourself there, yeah." It's beautiful. There's just a sense of everybody's nice. I mean, even when you do mess up, like I mess up on my job a few times, and if you were somewhere else, it might be like, right, you fucked up, and we don't like it, and you need to change it, or else. Whereas in my work, it was kind of like, people come to me and be like, "So you did this. Um, it's not how we do it, but we're just bringing it to your attention because we don't want to punish you. We want to kind of tell you what's happened, and we hope that you work on it. So is there anything else that you could think that right now, while we're telling you this, that you would, that you need work on? Have we failed to give you the correct training which caused this error, and do you need some other assistance in the future to prevent any future errors? You can tell us right now, if there's anything along with the mistake. Is there anything that you're weak on, and we'll see to it that both of these rise up." I'm like, "Thanks, guys. That's really, really nice. That's really generous and considerate of you. I didn't know people could be like that." And they really can. When they're Irish people, it's just a really, really nice set of people. I mean, I encourage everybody to come here. Visit, just see the sights. The country is beautiful. The culture is beautiful. The drinking is absolutely out of control. My tolerance is so high to South African people, but not to Irish people. Like, I still don't get hangovers, but when I go out, I get drunk. But when I came back to South Africa last year, I tried to get drunk, and it did not work. I was not even buying ciders anymore. I was buying harder, clearer liquors, and still, nothing was happening. We went out, we were drinking all the time. I think if you can ask the people that I was living with, I was drinking like every night, every second night to try and get something, and it just didn't work. There was just couldn't do it. Just couldn't do it. Irish people, it's fantastic. Now, so we've spoken about sex, we've spoken about Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my god. We have also spoken about Ireland when I moved here. So, what else is there to speak about? Well, the last thing I'm going to speak about right now, because I want to this was just an episode 4, but a quick one. I haven't done my 40 minutes to an hour segment in a while, and I want to get some good comedy and good things back to talk about. But what I really, really, really want to say is, oh my god, Marvel is blowing DC out of the water. Are you fucking serious? I mean, and you guys know that I love speaking about comic books. In my last video, I think I spoke about the fact that I don't believe that we need another Peter Parker for Spider-Man. I believe that we need Miles Morales. I believe that we need a black Hispanic man to play Spider-Man, because Peter Parker's been done. We've had Tobey Maguire, we've had Andrew Garfield, and now we have this new kid. I take my words back. I was proven wrong. That kid from Civil War is amazing. He's really, really good. Not just the fact that he has a Brooklyn accent, not just the fact that he's a kid. He's just an amazing, amazing actor. And you can see in Civil War, they didn't just make it out to be like, yeah, he showed in the video, he can pick up a car. Yeah, he's super agile. Yeah, he knows when danger's coming. But he stood next to all those Avengers fighting each other, and he felt completely outclassed. And it wasn't just that, like, the man's strong, and the man's good, and the man's athletic and acrobatic. He's got no stamina. So towards the end of the fight, all of those guys, Natasha and Clint and Iron Man and fucking Black Panther and Winter Soldier, they were all ready, they were all running, they were all good to go. And Tony was just like, kid, you've only been doing this a while, you need to sit down. And Spider-Man, the man who can go the distance, was physically lying on the ground, out of breath, stumbling, just couldn't do it anymore. And Ant-Man also was as well, lying on the ground going, can't do this anymore, because they haven't been in the game that long. And they do that. They did that. They have this whole, the experienced are experienced and the young are the young, and that's the way it's going to stay. The only one that kind of didn't go through that transition was Vision, because he was the combination of Ultron as well as Jarvis, so it was the worlds of experience and knowledge put together to just kind of, and he has access to the internet, so he's basically doing that Neo I know Kung Fu thing and then just going about his thing. But DC, man, what the hell? First off, Batman v Superman, not good. Just not good. Just overall not good. It was bad. That's the word I'm looking for. It wasn't just not good, it was bad. Besides Batfleck. Batfleck was a good Batman. Batfleck was a good, convincing Dark Knight Returns Batman. Very, very good Batman. I believe it totally. He was butch. You see he was older. His batsuit, I'm alright with the voice modulations, but he was good. Clark Kent, Superman, like, the thing is, a lot of people don't like Superman because of the whole broken thing. This is like, he can't be beaten. No, he's like Martian Manhunter. He's a Swiss Army knife of fucking heroes. He's got every power under the sun, powered by the sun, and he just can't be beaten. Listen here, Idjit. You need to understand something right now. Other heroes are other different stories. I'll put it to you this way. The internet has this massive debate about who would win, Goku from Dragon Ball Z or Superman from DC Comics. Side note, and just, to answer the question full out and 100%, it's Superman. Superman wins. Now, let me add a footnote to that and an asterisk to that comment and that sentence. I love Dragon Ball Z. I love Dragon Ball Super. I love Goku. I love all the characters there. I don't like Superman and I don't like DC Comics. However, well, not that I don't like them, I just don't like them as much as I like Marvel. However, Goku is the story of a foreigner, of an alien from another planet who has martial arts powers and is constantly striving to train and be better, to be stronger so that he can protect the ones he loves. And as newer, bigger, stronger threats comes, he needs to train newer, bigger, and stronger in order to match them. It's a story about somebody trying to get to godhood, and even in Dragon Ball Super, reaching godhood, also finding out that if you can do it, other people can do it. So there's always another level. There's always another mountain to climb. There's always another task to accomplish. Another way to get better, to protect those you love more and more and more. Goku is the story of a man becoming a god. Superman is not a man. He is a god. He's not a superman. He's a super god. It is the story of somebody with godlike powers, godlike invulnerability, godlike strength, godlike speed, godlike everything, trying to be human because he has this dreadful sense of responsibility since the first time he discovered his powers. The fact that he can bench press 6.6 quintillion tons or something like that, something stupid like bench press 2 planets on 2 indestructible bars, or when he was wedged together between 2 other planets and escaped like nothing happened. Like, he didn't escape, he took the force of 2 planets hitting together and just shrugged it off. 15 suns exploding in his face like nothing. A man like that, who can bench press 2 planets, then has to come down here and be with the woman he loves and try not to break her in a hug. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine having all of that strength, all of that speed, and wanting not only just to just have your own private life, like to be able to take a shit without, somebody going, oh my god, Superman's in there with his britches down, like, to just want to be normal, to want to have time to be bored, to want to, just experience things like putting a pizza in the oven and waiting 30 minutes. I mean, Superman's a god. He still can't make a pizza, heat up faster. He's got to put his pizza in and wait for it like the rest of us do as well. And then his wife comes home and he kisses her. And he's got to also make sure that when he leans in, he's not using too much force. Because remember, force is equal to mass times acceleration. So the amount of energy that he has running through him, he's got to make sure he's got all of that internal force and all of that internal mass and acceleration down to a point with his energy so that he doesn't lean forward, accidentally headbutt her, and leave her as a paste in the wall. Superman is a super god. It's the story of somebody who can do anything, trying to only do one thing, and that's just be one of us. There's a very good comic book cover. I don't know the exact cover now. I'm not going to Google it. But there's a very good comic book cover of Clark Kent standing in front of a war memorial, seeing all of these faces of firefighters, cops, nurses, ambulance drivers, war heroes, doctors overseas, and like Doctors Without Borders, and all of them who have died, and seeing them up there in the wall. And he has his back to the actual comic book cover, and all of these people are facing out, and there's one word on it. It's just him staring at me. He just says, "Wow." Because to Superman, we're the real heroes, humans who don't have all the powers that he has, who aren't able to save the amount of people that he saves. They're not indestructible. We're not indestructible. We die, we suffer, we get pain, but we put ourselves in those life-threatening situations to rescue. And we were doing that before Superman got there. We were doing that before anybody got there. We were just doing it. And he came down, and he can do it, but he can't be everywhere at once. And he still says, when Superman, when he gets to the burning building, you see that in every movie. It happens to Spider-Man, happens to Flash, happens to Batman, happens to Superman as well. Building's on fire, and everybody's looking up, and oh my god, there's a stupid kid who managed to run away from his parents and get himself locked in the closet on the 9th floor because, the fire's not going to touch the closet, kid. And everybody goes, oh my god, my baby's still in there. And what happens? Superman rolls in at the last minute, and he saves the kid, and everybody goes, yay, Superman saved the day. No, he didn't, motherfucker. That entire building was on fire. There were 8 other floors that were cleared by you, yourself, and firefighters, and friends, and paramedics, and cops, and everybody who managed to get there before the super tights came in. Before Spider-Man, before Batman, before Hawkgirl, before all of these other people. The humans saved it, and then the heroes came in at the end and saved the last few people, the last few stragglers. Okay? Maybe the only person that can kind of do that stuff is like the Flash, because, reasons. Or anybody with time reversal powers. But you get my point. We're the heroes to Superman. I don't get that from Batman v Superman. I don't get it. I get this mopey kind of dark sense. Oh my god, I killed Zod and now I feel bad about it, and jumping into bathtubs as Lois. No, whose Superman is that? That's not my Superman. It's not even fucking... Whose Superman is that? That's not the real Superman. As Patton Oswalt said when this whole thing started, you can't all be broody. Only Batman can be broody, right? And maybe Hal Jordan, and definitely Guy Gardner, and definitely Kyle Rayner as well, because his girlfriend got folded and put into a freezer for him to find when he came home, but that's a completely different side story. But no, Superman is supposed to be the guiding light, and Batman is supposed to be the darkness. When the sun goes down, Batman's out, and when the sun is up, Superman's out and about. That's supposed to be it. But now we have, you can brood and I can brood too. That's bullshit. I'm very glad that he died. And don't even get me started on Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor. Oh, my sweet giddy aunt. Just know. And if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, he wasn't that bad. They gave about 30 seconds to him fingering a sweet into some dude in a suit's mouth. 30 seconds? Just for that? What was the point of that? There's 30 seconds you could have given into anything else. So no, movie was a piece of shit. But Justice League is going to come out soon. Oh yeah, and by the way, we have Dark Aquaman too. What was wrong with the green and orange? Didn't think you could pull it off? Didn't even pull it off. Marvel pulled off everything. They pulled off Ant-Man. Who saw that coming? Not fucking Ant-Man. But they pulled it off. Fuck it, they're going to do Wasp next. They fucking pulled off Guardians of the Galaxy with a talking tree and a talking bipedal raccoon named Rocket. Really? They got Dave Bautista, the wrestler, to pull off as a fucking superhero. And still, DC saw all of that and they were like, yeah, we're going to have to change Aquaman out of the orange and green and the blonde, and we're just going to have to make... Can we get we get that guy from Motorhead? Can we just rest in peace? But can we get just get his image right? Now, can I just put that on Khal Drogo? Can I just port that? Yeah, that's who we want to play King of the Sea. That, what? 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 Why? 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 I like fucking just ugh. And now we have this idiot playing Flash. He may be good, but like, come on. There was nothing wrong with Grant Gustin from the Flash TV series. Nothing wrong with it. It's a little goofy, yeah, but he's the nice little bright thing that could raise the whole movie up, because the fucking Justice League is now it's literally, I don't think there's going to be a single scene that's taking place in the daytime. Now Wonder Woman, there's a chance for DC to actually redeem themselves. The Wonder Woman with that kick-ass theme song. Yeah, that's a pretty kick-ass. And when she jumped down in Batman v Superman, everybody freaked out. Even I freaked out, and I went to go watch the damn movie twice because I wanted to make sure I hated it. And I realized I didn't hate it as much. I just hate specific parts being everything except Batman and Wonder Woman. But the previews are coming in. And when I say previews, I don't mean previews as in the trailers. I mean the previews as in the views that have happened by critics prior to the movie being released. And a couple of them are good, and a couple of them are not good. A couple of them are very not good. But the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, which is out in less than 2 weeks as I record this right now, that has 100% approval rating from everybody who's watched it. Everybody in the suit. So, DC, you're fucking up. And not just that, you may have won with the whole Wonder Woman thing coming in, but you're using Darkseid. I wouldn't have used Darkseid, because Darkseid's too much like Thanos. Wouldn't have done it. You know who would have done? Would have done Brainiac. But would have done that? Brainiac, Metallo, maybe do like the Society of Supervillains. Could have been fine. Could have been fine. No, but you want to go and pretty much use your version of Thanos. Okay, Marvel did it first, but go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. And Suicide Squad, just on a side note as well, I'll rant about that in the very, very next video. Oh my god, piece of shit. Not as big of a piece of shit though. It's just Jared Leto as a Joker should have been either A, in the movie a lot more, or B, not in the movie at all. If you're going to reintroduce a Joker after Heath Ledger, don't give him just a middle amount of screen time. Devote a movie to it, or do a cameo so that you open up the audience to it, or just leave him out the movie completely. I think a cameo would have been better, and give him his own movie. If we're going to get like Gotham City Sirens or something like that with like Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy and Batman, sure, yeah, we can do that, but no. And not, Will Smith was fine, Killer Croc was fine. Oh, and by the way, just on a side note, right, while you're all thinking of Suicide Squad, do you know that the person who did the makeup art for Harley Quinn won an Academy Award for the visual arts there? For Harley Quinn. The makeup and the pigtails and the red, the blue and the pink and whatever, the bubblegum suits and all. That all got, that won an Oscar. Do you know who they were with? Do you know who they were against? Star Trek. The third Star Trek movie. Have you ever fucking seen the creatures that are created in the Star Trek movie, who only appear in the background because they have to portray a multi-universal, multi-galaxial world? The center hubs. No discrimination. Not just people being green, but people with fucking crabs on the back of their heads, or ridges going down their face, or turning Idris Elba, the most beautiful black man in the world, into a white-faced alien. All of that shit lost to Harley Quinn. That's the end of my podcast. I will see you when I record again. Goodbye.